Hey, Jim Cam here, founder, owner, franchisor of multiple brands in Montreal areas, exceeding 100 locations. In today's video, I'm gonna answer a question that I get asked quite a lot. It's gonna be, how can I ensure my business is gonna be successful? For sure, I cannot speak for all the businesses out there, but I can speak for my personal experience after opening more than 100 locations. So the first ever business that I built was Sushi Sama, a very small restaurant focused on takeout and deliveries. The reason is very simple. As you know, Montreal, we have 4 weathers, we have a lot of traffics. So you want to make sure that you can deliver the product year long. So in this case, there will be no downtime. Imagine if you open like a very fancy restaurant, I can say, hey, it's too much traffic, we can only go during the weekend or when the weather is good. But if you give the option more accessible, that means you're giving less excuses for your customer not to order from you. And why sushi? If you think about it, for the takeout options that you can eat at home, if you want to eat something fancy, what other than sushi can you think of? You might think, probably if I go to a fancy restaurant, I can go eat a very nice pasta, but will you order a very fancy pasta to eat at home? This is something that you can pretty much make it yourself. And think about it, I don't know, a steak? Would you prefer to cook your own steak at home? But sushi is something that people cannot make themselves, especially some very good sushi. And one thing to remember, especially when you're starting, you need to know how to control your risk and control your cost. And this is the reason why I started with the concept of Sushi Sama. I just wanted to limit my risk of the capital investment. I know everybody will want to have their own very beautiful fancy business, but this is not the right way to start. You need to build skills and also experience along the way. So starting with something that will minimize the risk, but easier for you to control the cost, this is what I will suggest for any entrepreneur to start. And you have to understand and know that your concept, your business, have to be able to solve a very specific problem. And in my case, I just wanted to offer high quality sushi at affordable prices that people can enjoy at the comfort of their own home. Yeah, and the second point that I really put the focus on is on the recurring revenue. And the second point is also solved with Sushi Sama, is people, they can always be able to enjoy the fresh, amazing quality of the sushi at the comfort of their own home. They don't have to dress up, makeup, and get them prepared facing the traffic in order to be able to enjoy a good meal. What better options can you do than staying at home at your own comfort and just enjoy a good meal, doing whatever you like? And the third point, also one of the most important one, is cost control. Since I focus on takeout and deliveries, I don't need a big space, a big rent in order to serve a lot of customers. That gives me a better leverage in order for me to control my own fixed cost, which is the rent. Yeah, imagine for regularly seating restaurant, you will like to have at least 60 to 80 seatings. That asks for at least triple the size of a regular Sushi Sama that we have. So that means the rent might be 3 times the price that you're paying. And for the first Sushi Sama, my rent was close to 2 to 3% of the overall revenue. So just think about it. So the 3 points that I just mentioned, 3 fundamentals for my business to be successful. For sure, it wasn't easy. There's a lot of work that I needed to put in. But since I did it once, I did it twice, I did it multiple times. That's why I know I have the right system in order to expand to multiple locations. So since I cover all those 3 key points, which is solving a problem, recurring revenue, and also controlling the cost. So there's no reason why I cannot expand from that moment on. And also that brings the opportunity that I'm gonna talk to you about. I'm gonna tell you, every business owner, every entrepreneur, they understand that the moment that you start to scale, you want to scale, you will have to delegate your task. And this is also one of the hardest part. So how did I do it? Before I was the chef, I was managing the restaurant by myself. But the moment that I started opening 2, 3, there's problems. So I cannot be everywhere at the same time. That's where more problem came into the business that I needed a solution for, and how I did it. So the main factor, the main difficulties that I encountered while trying to expand the Sushi Sama business was having skilled chef, highly skilled chef, because I have high expectation from all the people, all the chefs that making the sushi. So it takes a lot of time for me to know that I can give them the position as the head chef. So this is where I was thinking, hey, if I want to grow, but this is the limiting factor that was pushing me back. So how can I solve this and still be able to keep growing at a faster pace? So let's go back to the first point that I mentioned, solving a problem. So this was my next problem. So I needed to come back and just think, how can I solve this problem? So what was the problem? Having a skilled chef that needed time either hired or to train. This became my next problem. So it was the training phase. It takes a lot of time to train the chef, and also the menu is big, so also requires time. How I did it is very simple. I created a second concept, a second brand that is called Poke Station. We based that concept on everything that I learned with Sushi-sama on cost control, also solving the problem and having recurring customers. But not only that, delivering very quality fresh food to the customers. And how did I solve the concept with Poke Station is the overall process of operating. It's completely cut down by like half. The menu size was much smaller, and also the operation preparation, everything was so much efficient and easy. Imagine, this is the concept that I really based out of Subway. I just went to Subway, I saw, hey, they just list all the ingredients to the people and they just ask what the client wants and just put it in the sandwich. But what if we do it with a bowl? So this is where the idea of Poke Station came from, and also how the brand was born. So let me put it in a way that's very easy for you to understand. It's like Iron Man. When he built the first suit, it was in a basement and took a lot of time, but as he refined every suit, it just become better. So this is the best example that I can give you. Sushi-sama is still a very good concept in my opinion, but in life you always have to innovate and create something that you think could be fixing the previous problem. So this is where Poke Station came into place. We were basically able to fix all the major problems that was incarnate while trying to grow Sushi-sama. And it's similar to Iron Man, trying to create a better suits in order to fight bigger bosses. But the operational side, it's not the only problem that we solve with Poke Station. If you think of it this way, in Poke Station we use the exact same fresh ingredient that we use in a Sushi-sama, but you get it at a much more affordable prices, just because much more easy for the operator to make. And not only that, imagine if you plan to eat sushi on the go, walking, driving, it's almost impossible. But Poke, we also make it easier, so people can have a quick lunch basically anywhere. So there's more problem that was solved with Poke Station itself. And the best part is we were able to open a new market that attracts more customers into the brand. So if you see, the key to business success is always problem solving. So the Poke Station gave me the opportunity to solve some problems that Sushi-sama wasn't able to do. But also Poke Station came also with problems as we grow, because now the economy is not as good. People, yes, they want to eat healthy, but since the cost of life grew so high, it's very difficult for people to stay on the right track. That's why we now encounter a new problem. And also not only the fact that we open so many Poke Station, but also there's a lot of competitors that came into the market. But that doesn't matter. As you know, people, they just want to have new things. They just have to have better options too. So that's why with the same principles that we always focused on, we managed to solve that again with onigiri shop. What's even in onigiri? It's very similar to sushi. You have rice and also the main ingredient in the middle, and you put it in a triangle shape. That's it. And how did we manage to solve the problem for Poke Station and also Sushi-sama? It's very simple. We make it even more affordable, even more accessible, even easier to consume, and for the operation side, even easier to operate. Think of it this way. Poke, you take a bowl, you have to add multiple ingredients. But onigiri, bowl of rice, 1 or 2 ingredients. How easy is that? And also the price, $5 for one onigiri. How affordable is that? In the market today, it's so hard for you to get a satisfied, fulfilling meal at a decent price. But don't forget, we stay focused on our own principle. So we delivered very affordable price for the best quality on the market. Remember one thing, I'm not here in business to do something fancy. I want to do things in the long run. And onigiri, really, I know there's no fancy stuff. It's all natural ingredient that people are already used to eat. We just made it more accessible and more flavorful so they can just take it basically on a daily basis. Just don't forget, in business, it's always problem solving. So you're here to make sure that you can solve a problem, you can get more customers and also more recurring customers, and more importantly, keeping the cost low. Based on all the example that I just gave you, just make sure if you have a business ideas, take a pen and paper, just calculate your own costs. If you think it's a good business that can scale, contact me below. Let's try to work it on. I'll see you in the next video.